Well, let's get to the details now. After self-reflection and being in existence for 59 years, the Ghana Medical Association has launched a 5-year strategic plan document to serve as a guide and also to rebrand and refocus the association. Member of the Planning Committee, Dr. Mary Amwako Coleman, explained that the aim is to ensure continuity of the association's vision and also consolidate all of its communications. She added that the new document will birth a health think tank that will make significant input in the health sector.
The first one is strong stakeholder engagement to make sure that our contribution towards the health sector is improved and better and based on relevant information that can inform policies and decision makings at all various levels of the health sector. We also want to promote self-regulation and make sure that as doctors we are sticking to what's the Hippocratic oath, which we have all sworn to mandates us to do and reduce malpractice in the country as much as possible. We also want to promote professional development of our members and also the welfare of our members. What we are going to do to make sure that the relationship between us as a professional body and our employers at all various levels is a healthy one, and yet we are also satisfied with the work that we do and the environment in which we work. We also want to continuously enhance the corporate image of the association. We believe that a lot of the things that the Ghana Medical Association stands for and has been working on have not come onto limelight because perhaps reportage has been skewed towards one area, because we are the leaders in the health sector and we want to bring that leadership to bear, but it is not brought to bear just because the media is not projecting it. We hope to make it better. We also want to strengthen partnership with other associations and groups and partners so that we can work together and support the Ministry of Health to realize its goals within the next 5 to 10 years.
So how will you ensure the sustainability of this particular strategic goal since it's 5 years?
We are going to make sure that it is incorporated in our plan of activities as an association. That is what is going to guide our annual plans. We're going to start with some baseline survey to show us where we are as per the indicators we have set in the strategic plan. And as we go along the 3rd year and also the 5th year, we'll do some follow-on to make sure that we are reviewing the process and getting towards the targets.
Let's talk about your think tank. Will that be the first for the health for the GMA, and then also how exactly do you want that to pan out?
Okay, so we've had it on a smaller scale. So we've as and when it's needed, we've set up committees, technical committees, I must say, to deal with one issue or the other. But we think that we need to broaden it because the issues are big and the expertise needed are different. So if we bring various expertise which we have together, then we'll be able to look at the issues and potential problems that could arise out of them in future and bring out potential solutions even before the problems arise.
Also at the launch was Executive Director of the Healthy Ghana NGO, Professor Ajiman Bedwa-Kosa, and he also spoke to our reporter.
If I had my way, every death will be reportable, and every death will be subject to quality assurance and inquiry of a sort. Some aspects like maternal health and maternal mortalities, I presume will take on board as part of your research to find out why institutional deaths are so high, why certain regions have higher maternal mortalities than others, and then as an association offer advice to inform policy and maybe how we distribute our health personnel and so forth, and even how to train some of them. And that's why I mentioned CHIPS, because they are the front line in the rural areas, and those are the ones who may need kinds of services that will impact on certain portions of the Sustainable Development Goals.
Well, that was actually former president of the GMA, Professor Yao Edujemfe. We can now hear from Professor Abukwa North.
I'm very happy that the GMA has put up this strategic document, guiding us every step of the way. It is important in this milieu of confusion that at least you know the path that you've set for yourself. I particularly want the GMA to look at patient safety issues. It is now virtually a must everywhere. Patient safety issues. Patients do not come to the hospital to fall sick and don't come to the hospital to die. Patients come to the hospital to get better. And therefore, every step of the way we should be tracking and making sure, indeed, patients come to our facilities to get better.
Professor Abukwa North there. We'll be having a conversation about the GMA much later on the show. But right now, let's get to the court. Well, an Accra High Court has commenced the murder trial of 2 men accused of killing Abukwa North MP Joseph Boakye Danquah Edu last year. 19-year-old Daniel Asiedu, a phone dealer, sneaked into the East Legon residence of the MP in February last year. Around midnight, armed with a knife, a catapult and a cutter, he stabbed him 3 times in the stomach, according to police records, until he died. He's facing High Court judges today with his accomplice Vincent Busso, a phone repairer. Joseph Akable has been to the court and he joins me now in the studio. Joseph, you've been following this story quite keenly. Tell us what, bring us up to speed on events in court today.
So today was the first appearance at the higher court, and the case was called. He was supposed to have his lawyer present for what will take place. Is a jury will be empaneled, a 7-member jury that will be hearing a matter, after which his official plea will be entered. But unfortunately, his lawyers, that is for the 2 gentlemen, Vincent and Daniel, their lawyer was not present in court. Again, the prosecuting attorney handling the case told the court that because of a training program that she was supposed to attend, she couldn't be present in court. So they asked for an adjournment. But the judge was unhappy about the fact that the 2 accused didn't have their lawyer in court. The reason being that if the state prosecutor is present, it will mean that the court will need to form a panel of jury that will be hearing the matter, after which they will have to enter the plea. And if the gentleman doesn't have a lawyer, that cannot progress. Because this is a very serious issue of murder, and the judge was very clear in his mind, and he told the gentleman that at the next date, the gentleman should ensure that their lawyer is in the courtroom. Interestingly, the gentleman told the judge that for the past 2 months, he has not heard from the lawyer. The last time he heard from the lawyer was when the case was still at the magistrate court, and that he wanted the police to help him contact the lawyer to come over for the case the next time.
I see. That's very interesting. But there are interesting questions to be asked about this. If you're saying that he has not been in touch with his lawyer, I mean, are they his own lawyers, or are they state lawyers that are supporting him in this? Will you be following that story? Walk us through the journey briefly.
It's been a pretty long one, and anyone familiar with our legal system, when it's a murder case, it doesn't go straight to the High Court. The reason is it has to go through a committal process. The state wants to be sure it has enough evidence against you before they move the matter to the High Court. On a bit about the lawyer, the gentleman has access to counsel right from the start. These are lawyers that they sometimes get. Sometimes they do it on their own as pro bono, like they refer to it. And in other instances, you have the legal aid coming in to assist them.
So in this instance, who is representing
the gentleman? Got his own lawyer. That is Augustine. One Augustine Obo is a lawyer that represented him even at the committal process. So the case has traveled through the magistrate court, and about 2 months ago, the AG gave the advice that enough evidence had been marshaled against the 2 gentlemen for it to be put before the High Court for the full trial to commence. Interestingly, Daniel is facing the charge of murder, whilst Vincent is facing the charge of conspiracy to rob. Because if you recall, Daniel said, he claimed, the story he told the police officers was that he visited the residence to steal a mobile phone from the man. And in the attempt of doing that, the man woke up, and when the man accosted him, they engaged in a fist fight, and he had to defend himself, and he ended up stabbing the man. So he has pleaded guilty, but he says it's unintentional. The other gentleman has been charged with conspiracy to commit to rob, because he accompanied the gentleman to rob, and he had no hand in the death of the said gentleman. But the interesting bit about it is that quite recently, the family of the deceased, they have been very unhappy about how proceedings have gone at the courtroom, and they are calling for fresh investigation. They have the view that it is a case of someone contracting a gentleman to kill the man. They don't believe the narrative about he going in to steal and ending up killing the man.
And perhaps political undertones as well. They've raised that issue as well.
Exactly, because if you recall, when the issue came up, there were lots of political talks around it, about it. Some names even came up that, I mean, unfortunately, we cannot speak about
That's
that.
fair enough.
But that was denied. And the gentleman has been very clear in his mind. Each time he has appeared before the court, he has been telling the court that he wasn't contracted by anyone to kill this gentleman. The only part of the story that is a bit problematic was initially when the police engaged him, the report that came out was that he had said he was contracted by someone to kill the man. But that narrative switched later on when he moved over to the magistrate court. Okay,
we'll see how that interesting story pans out. But we've known over the time that he's been asking to go home, and that he said he didn't want to be in prison. He wanted to go home. What was his demeanor in court today?
Daniel is a very interesting gentleman. Each time he goes to the court, he has something interesting to say. In the past, he has talked about wanting to see his girlfriend, wanting to see his newborn baby. He misses home food. Lots of interesting things. So this time around, he was calm, but just right when the judge was done speaking, when the judge had ordered him that he should bring his lawyer, he put up his hand again, and we were all thinking one of his usual things he says. But this time around, he told the judge, honestly, I can't find my lawyer, so you need to help me find my lawyer quickly. Well,
we'll see how the courts will be able to help him find his lawyer. Thank you very much. Joseph Akable has been our man at the courts today, bringing us up to speed on what's happening. I'm going to take a very quick break, but when I return, we'll tell you about World Occupational Safety Day. How safe are you as you go along with your work? Stay with me. This is The Pulse with me, Giti Andor here.